The aim of this video is to identify the main Townscape features of Oxford through Gordon Cullen's serial visual concepts, judging how they create a unique sense of place. The route starts from crossing of High Street and Queen's Lane, then down the narrow snaking Queen's Lane, turning left to New College Lane leading to Bridge of Sights, then going under the bridge, through the gates, straight to Sheldonian Theatre, following with the Bodleian Library and Radcliffe Square, then turning right to Brasenose Lane, through the Tower Street, straight to High Street, and then down this High Street towards Modlin's Tower, which is the end of the route. Just standing at the beginning of Queen's Lane, the feeling of anticipation appears immediately. There is a strong definition of here-ness and there-ness created by narrowing and deflection of the street, and anticipating rooftop views encouraging us to go further. Moving along Queen's Lane, the grand vista of the famous Trinity spires appears spontaneously, surprising and encouraging to continue the route. The walls around it not only create a unique safe enclosure, but at the same time define the contrast between public and private. Turning right, a surprising feature appears. It adds intricacy and contrast to the area. This arch also captures the deflection of the road, increasing our anticipation and leading even more further down the street. Following New College Lane, a contrast of architecture and materials appears, increasing anticipation and destroying infinity of Queen's Lane's monotony. And again, this feeling is maintained by deflection of the street and sharp corners, forcing us to ask the question, why are these there, behind the corner? Turning left, a surprising view appears. The landmark and Bridge of Sights divides the environment into here and there, capturing a scene of grand buildings just behind it. This contrast, coupled with mysterious path between buildings, increasing our anticipation and leading us further towards the captured views out of the street. Going under the bridge, the whole character of an area changes significantly. It is now an open space, an active center rather than a small narrow pathway. The difference in pavement materials define two different spaces with two different uses. This definition is strengthened even more by the big fence, which at the same time define public and private. The scale of buildings identify their importance and give this area a unique Oxford intricacy. Views in and out are supported by the gate, which breaks this solemnity and advise us to go further. Walking through the gates, we immediately appear in the enclosure created by the surrounding buildings. The contrasting intricacy of the surroundings show the absolutely different experience of the space. A small arch breaks this enclosure, creating the mystery and leading us inside the building. Walking through the arch, we can feel a contrast of the outside and the inside, and again, we're getting into the other enclosure of the Bodleian Library. The scale of the building absolutely separates us from the outer world, creating the feeling that we are here and all the rest is there. Moving further through the arch, we can see a captured scene of a grand building, pulling us closer straight to the landmark. Immediately, our eyes catch this grand building, a focal point standing out from the surroundings. Looking down, we can see two different spaces, one for public and one is restricted access to the Radcliffe camera. They are defined by the fence around the building. Looking right, we can see an outlined route away from the square, and the sharp corners increase our anticipation and lead us further to the right. Turning to Brasenose Lane, we can find a narrowing of the street and capture the flagged vista, increasing our anticipation and leading further. On the crossing of Brasenose Lane and Tower Street, we appear into another activity center. The difference of the materials define two different spaces, one is purely pedestrian and two shared with vehicles. The most significant change is in the buildings. They are mixed use, combined with retail and residential units. An incident of a church and a tree coupled with deflected vista and interesting architecture pulls further to High Street. High Street is the major Oxford road, therefore it is divided by vehicular and pedestrian spaces. The incidence of historic buildings and trees adds variety and increases our anticipation. The whole deflection of the street gives a unique, mysterious intricacy to the environment. Moving down the street we can see a contrast in architecture, from small houses to the sandstone college buildings. Deflected vista increases anticipation, and then the incident of Modern's Tower, which appears dramatically at the end of the route. But no doubt Oxford has its own unique sense of place, created by the contrast of various elements but united into one environment, structural and perceiving. This assignment has taught me how to use a form in order to create a sense of place that will be transformed and used for a future design.